Hi, this video is to sort of address the doom and gloom that I feel like a lot of people are constantly talking about, how the prices are terrible and we're all going to run out of food and we're all going to die and we're going to die of diseases. And I just wanted to show you one, attitude is everything, but also I just wanted to show you not everybody has a full pantry so to store things. I just wanted to, this is just one of couple of places where I keep extra food. I have my pantry that is constantly being raided because I have currently 6 boys, grown boys, living in my house, and my husband. And we did have 8, but 2 have since moved on and got married. But I just wanted to show you that this is my bug out bag. If we ever had to go anywhere, dried goods aren't going to cut it. I'm going to need some salsa. My kids work out. I'm going to need vitamins. I'm going to need powders. But I also wanted to show you, so in here we have rice, we have dehydrated foods, we have peanut butter, which is huge. But if it comes down to it, I need chocolate. We're going to have lots of chocolate. And we have dried fruits and tuna fish and just regular things. I feel like everybody is in such a hurry to, throw in the towel or something. So I just wanted to show you or talk about how attitude is everything. And I like doing canning. I definitely have always been, I guess you would call it a prepper, but it's not, but I wouldn't say I'm a prepper. I'm prepared. When you have a big family, you have to be prepared. You have to always be thinking, what's going to be for lunch? What's going to be for dinner? Who's going where? Do I have gas in the car? I have to drive people? That sort of thing. And I just wanted to show you why does everything have to be so depressing. So like I was saying, I like to do canning. I feel like Bell offers so many great products. But with canning, for me, there comes risks. Like this is beautiful. This is a honey marmalade. And if you look at the top here, what is this? You look at the top. This should be perfectly preserved. This should be perfectly fine. And is that mold? Okay, so what do I do? Do I throw this away? I love making homemade pickles. I love making homemade jams and marmalades and things like that. I feel like the Bell jars are obviously the go-to. They're easy to find and they work well. But you know what else also works well? Store-bought pickles in your pantry. I just don't want people to feel bad that don't have the time to be canning and pickling. I mean, it's just as easy to just go out and buy these things. However, if you're growing them in your garden, fair play to you, that's amazing. But a lot of people aren't doing that, and they can still have a little storage box with emergency food. Everybody should have that. It's like we can do this sort of thing. Like if I rarely throw away glass jars. I always find needs for them. But does everything have to be dismal? I mean, do my kids want to look at this? Or, I got some of these great soups that are perfect. These are at Ocean State Job Lot. I feel like Red Mill offers so much with dried foods and oatmeals and grains and things. And if I showed that to my children and said, this is what's for dinner, they might get, oh, okay, great. Or am I going to say, here, we're going to boil this up. So packaging is everything. None of my kids are going to get excited about, oh, this is healthy. Look at the mother in there. That's great. Trying to do kombucha or things like that. Experimental nutrition. That's great. But having pre-made packaged foods is nice as well. And this sort of thing It's not overly expensive. And you can just throw that into your pantry. But if you have like a bug out box, a bug out bag, something like this is always good to have, and you can fit a bunch in there. Like I said, just keeping candy, chocolate, things like this, caramel sauces, small corned beefs, hams, and canned meats. These are all very easy, cheap things that you can buy and then just put away and not worry about them getting moldy. You know, something like this. When you are buying something like this, you might be looking for, I mean, yes, you're looking for the protein nutritional value, but also you're looking for flavoring. These things are very high in salt. And if you want something to taste good, like it says it's in water, but they're still very salty. You know, you take this, you take your rice, you take some dried onions, you take some dried vegetables, and you have a quick, easy meal for your family. If I'm going to be eating dandelion greens, I'm going to be probably throwing some anchovies on there and maybe some Caesar salad dressing, I hope. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So anyways, I'm just trying to emphasize we don't all have to have this big, you know, huge pantry to walk through. And some people love it, which is great. But for others, it's not practical, or they don't have that sort of space. I also wanted to show you a few more things. When I'm talking about doom and gloom, which I feel like people just love talking about doom and gloom, if we're starving, we have our bug out bag, we'll probably be eating on these. Some nice SpongeBob paper plates. We could also, you know, burn these after and maybe keep ourselves warm for the night. And also, as I had mentioned, why does everything have to be so stark? Why does everything have to be so stark and depressing and plain? I came across two items which I thought were really nice. We have these beautiful little reusable bags. I mean, how cute are these for dried teas, dandelions, things like that? These are spices. I mean, if it's an apocalyptic situation, do I want to be looking at, what do I want to be looking at? I want to be looking at pretty things that are going to cheer me up, okay? So I came across these really cute bags, and also I came across these. Look at these. Are you seeing how pretty these bell jars are? So anyway, they're pink. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're doing, sure, might be a time of, we're keeping our world beautiful, right? You know what? You could also throw a candle in there. I mean, I just thought these were so pretty. If we're eating acorn cookies because we're starving, you know what? We're serving them in these. We're going to throw some pretty sparkly sugars on them and serve them in pretty cups, okay? Like I said, attitude is everything. I found it really amazing. I was looking on Tiffany's jewelry website, and I came across something that looks like this. Okay, I will have to show you on the website. What is this? This is a tin can, and it's being sold as a beautiful vase. Okay, so in a sense, people have to get over themselves. I just wanted to show you this. This is the Hood Basic Cookbook. This was my husband's grandmother's, and she lived in the 20s and 30s. And so you read something like this and you look how they planned their food, and everything was done on a budget. Okay, and I just think we can learn so much obviously not everybody did something like this, but they had an idea of what they were spending, what they were buying, like where to buy. One of the big food problems is to find a market where food of good quality can be bought at reasonable prices. Okay, so this is this exact same thing that's going on today. And there's nothing new. Being a homemaker, people took these things very seriously. It is by no means necessary to make all food purchases in person. It is important to inspect all markets within reasonable shopping range before choosing a dealer. Okay? You're in the driver's seat. You're the homemaker in the driver's seat, and you're going to choose your food dealer. Okay? They emphasize sanitary. Okay? So, it also gives advice when to buy. When to buy early morning is usually the best time to shop for food. Fresh supplies of vegetables had just arrived. Thought that was very nice. I was also looking at some emergency freezing in the home refrigerator. Every home gardener occasionally has more vegetables in at their prime. They can be eaten immediately, but too few to bother with transportation to a community locker. Okay? And this has ideas of how to freeze your food. Community locker, don't know what that is, but I feel like it was just taking care of the community, like a food pantry. And this is during a time when people were struggling. Preserved products containing large proportions of sugar should have paraffin. See, that's what should have happened with my jams and my marmalades. Like I showed you, there was some molds on the top, and I don't know, is that good, healthy? It's probably penicillin, who knows, maybe it's botulism, but the point is, paraffin wax, I guess. You only need paraffin wax, you don't even need a lid. As far as some of these containers go, just glass jars without lids. Also, you look at some of these old cookbooks and they have fussy type cookies, very beautifully decorated cakes and things, and I'm just wondering if it all went down and people were had time on their hands, would they be making pretty things, or would they all be sitting around feeling sorry for themselves? Another thing that I want to talk about, you know, we're so picky. We want to eat chicken breasts, we want to eat fine cuts of steak and things like that, but if you look here at some of the things people are eating, they're eating sandwiches, canned meats, they're eating things like tongue, they're eating liverwurst, okay, stuffed rolls, sliced hard-cooked egg. You know, these are all kind of things that we would really sort of turn our nose up if it was served to us, because we don't realize how privileged we are. I thought that was really cute. In this cookbook, you can also see some of the little recipes and things that my husband's grandmother cut out of the newspaper and put in here. I guess she used this cookbook all the time, and I was surprised nobody was interested in it except for me. What about things like Welsh rarebit? I mean, these are what people would eat. These are affordable meals that would fill you up. And how about this? English monkey, which is basically, we see breadcrumbs, salt, cheese, and toast. You know, trying to make it into something. You're taking bread and trying to make it into something that's filling and delicious. It was so important to serve a beautiful table. And advice like luncheon is often served on placemats. Who knew? Luncheon for a bridge foursome with a stand close by for serving a hot beverage. I'm actually going to do a bridge lunch. I get together with girlfriends and we get together for lunch, and we do say we're getting together for bridge, but we actually never play bridge, which is kind of funny because we're all terrible at it. So this is just to give ideas. And if you have some nice dishes, you know, almost everybody gets married, or even if they don't get married, they buy their first home or their first apartment, and even if they're renting their first apartment or room, they have some dishes. Why not have pretty dishes? Anyways, just different kinds of cheeses. I just love this cookbook. Skills like making popovers. Popovers were huge. I feel it. Remember my mom, I mean, there's so many restaurants I know in the Boston area would serve popovers instead of bread at the table. And this would be what my popovers look like. I mean, look at the things that they tell you about. Herbal Wild Greens Guide explains the different plants that you can find in your yard. Oh, and let's talk about Jell-O, okay? Nobody's eating Jell-O anymore. They turn their nose on Jell-O. Jell-O is so good for your joints. That's why you have people that were raised eating Jell-O as a supplemental food source, and they're living to be 90, 100 years old. You have us, we're eating organic, we're all dying at age 60. We have the different cuts of meat. I mean, I don't even think they sell veal cuts of meat. That would be a specialty order, which is a good thing. Really, who needs veal anymore, right? But then they also have this, which of course, sweetbreads and different kinds of hearts, animal hearts and animal tongues and brains. Yes, that's disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. However, it's very privileged for me to judge these things. I mean, you're taking this animal's life and then throwing half of their body in the trash. It's really very disrespectful when you think about it. But this is not my sort of thing, definitely. Another little article that the grandmother had in the cookbook, how to cook the perfect roast, and roasting by numbers, and the servings and how long you should cook it. These are all things that I have no idea about. And I cook all the time. I just sort of keep checking it. It'd be nice to pay attention to what I'm doing, I guess, or know what I'm doing. And then right here it says, any leftovers make great sandwich fare. So again, waste not, want not. Tea table for a crowd. Okay, and it shows, you know, just a beautiful place setting. Even if there's no food served, you're just so delighted looking, if you're going to be just drinking tea, how beautiful, you know. Same, this is a buffet table. And you know, a little whimsy there with these two little clown woman and and man, and you know, people took such pride in their table presentation. Here's tea for 4. Love it. Love it. Today, on this feast day of St. Joseph's Day, we're having some Zeppole de San Giuseppe, which is pastry of the Feast of St. Joseph. Basically, it's a cream puff, and in the Middle Ages, there was a drought in Sicily, and they prayed for St. Joseph to bring rain, and they would honor him with a feast, and he did, and now we eat these. Italian Catholics, or just Italians in general, really, celebrate with these delicious pastries. Sometimes they have cherries on the top, and this would probably be served properly with some powdered sugar. But anyway, delicious, delicioso.